This is an in-hand training session with Charlie. The goal of this training session was the poles. It is another aspect of training that I am using for him to activate his core. We have done pole work in the lunge and in hand in different patterns, and this was the time that I decided to set up the 10 poles in a row. Really got him thinking, really got a rhythm. I also had to make sure I got a rhythm so that I didn't fall over when I walked them. If I don't walk the poles, then neither does Charlie. He's figured out that he can like sidestep over. So I have decided it is easier at this point to just walk over the poles with him and get the steps and to get the balance while he does. When I first got him, walking over poles was really hard. He was just not developed in the core or the brain span, I guess, of being able to carry himself over poles without tripping over them, losing attention, all those things. I really want to keep the training sessions I do varied. At the moment, I'm still not able to ride Charlie. I don't have a suitable saddle that is on order. So I'm excited that in hopefully about a month's time, I should have a saddle and I can get back on him. So groundwork has been the go-to. We have done lots of it. I have come to learn several things about Charlie. One of those things is when we do pole work in hand, he typically wants to nibble. He wants to chew on whatever is available. And so, yes, it can be me, which obviously I am not particularly fond of. So we are working on correcting some of that behavior. However, I have realized that the chewing dramatically increases when we do the pole work. If I'm just leading him around, just doing work without the poles, he is nowhere near as chewy. And I think that is in part due to the release of him using his muscles and him stretching out. Part of a reason I think this is I had some MagnaWave done on him, and he literally just wanted to chew the whole time he was doing it. He wanted to gnaw on the lead rope and the chain and really was just kind of like, I need to release this. And that was how he needed to release it. It was like a sensory overload desire, almost a compulsion. And I have found that doing in hand pole work where he is really having to think about where his feet is going and he's activating those core muscles and the thoracic sling, it has that same effect. He is having a lot of tension release and he is really encouraging his body to move the right way. So I allow him to do it in a set environment. I'm not going to allow him to chew me. He is allowed to chew the chain on the lead rope. I actually have a separate chain that I forgot to attach to his halter that sometimes I will attach so that he has something deliberately there to chew. I don't personally think it's fair to ask him to not chew because he is seeking out that sensory release. I guess that's the part of me that is the special education teacher when it comes to working with horses. I believe that there are sensory needs and they need to be met. I don't want to have a fight with my horse. I would rather teach him there's appropriate things to chew and there's things you don't chew. You don't chew your person, you can chew your lead rope. I also, in this in-hand session, am allowing him a voice. Now, again, I think some people would be horrified that it's not, you must do this. We are going to do it for 10 minutes and be done. I allow the breaks. In teaching, we call them brain breaks, movement breaks, pop quiz breaks, dance breaks. So in Charlie's world, it is a brain break where he, after he's done a movement I've required of him, he's allowed to go and look at the world around him. He is a very sensitive horse. He is very sensitive to his environment. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to know who's there. The horses at the side are his pasture mates. So when he sees his pasture mates moving, he needs to check. He wants to make sure they're okay. I am okay with him being able to go check on them. We are not leaving the training area. He is still on a lead line. And once he has sussed out the world around him, we go back to work. I feel like he is a young horse. He has the attention span of about a minute. And this whole training session is like 10 minutes. And so once he's had a look around, we refocus and we go back over the poles. Or he avoids the poles and we have to do it again. So I get him to refocus. We go for a walk around and I make sure that he is checking in with me. And I will always say that there's times where he's not checking in with me. So I just stop. And we wait. And we hang out together. And these moments, I feel, are just as important as the moments where we're working. He is stood still. He is not going off. He is not trying to get out of the arena. He's just looking around and investigating the noises. There's people coming. There's horses coming and going. I want him to feel safe enough with me that he's able to check it out and then just decompress with me. He stand there, play with his lead rope, because we all know that working hard over poles is a really hard job, because we actually have to think about all 4 feet, which for Charlie is apparently the end of the world. So when he drops his head, he's relaxing, he plays with his lead rope, and he just refocuses, and then we're able to finish on a really nice note of him being goofy. And that's how I want all our training sessions to be. Very low energy. I'm not looking for battles or fights. I'm just looking for him responding to me, walking down the poles, figuring out his feet, doing a little bit of bending so that it's not just straight, and once again re-engages his brain. And then slowly walking back. We have a lot of different training sessions, and this is definitely the low-key one.